Correct, correct. That's the screen. That's the screen. And now I'm going to move my screen. You see, I'm going to move the page. 1 second. I'm going to screen. I'm going to. You see, the screen will change now. You can see. Huh? So this is the chapter 8. You can see, right? Okay, wonderful. So you can see. You can start the camera if you like. If you if you if you are comfortable with keeping camera off, that is fine also. And we'll see how it goes. Okay, let's start it then. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Are you all devotees okay? Then should we start then, Prabhuji, Mataji? Yeah. Are you all correct? Yeah. My camera will be at the top, Prabhuji. Okay. I can change it. 1 second. Now it will go. Yeah. Correct. I agree with you on that. I am going to start the presenter camera. And okay, so we will start with the today's reading. So last week we talked about Srila Prabhupada was invited to give a class in Jhansi, and when he went to Jhansi, uh, he got good support from the local community there. So Prabhupada ji first went just to give a lecture, and then he went back again to stay there for some time. And there he established an organization called League of Devotees with the help of local people there. Some of them, like Acharya Prabhakar, who was the first initiated disciple of Srila Prabhupada, and other medical fraternities like Dr. Shastri and all, everybody supported Srila Prabhupada. And Prabhupada ji started preaching there very seriously. And he, uh, uh, he, uh, he also published a proper manual, for the League of Devotees. So he was very keen on developing this League of Devotee organization, and you can see here he prepared the prospectus also, rules and regulations, who can join, what are the steps to join uh, League of Devotees, and then with the help of the devotees, then he also acquired a building called Bharati Bhavan. This Bharati Bhavan, also it was a temple, actually Radharani's temple there, and it was a beautiful location, Radha Memorial actually, so Radha Smarak, and it was given to Srila Prabhupada, uh, and it was promised that he will be able to establish a beautiful temple there. First, it was in kind, and then later on, he was told that he has to pay $500, 500 rupees, sorry. And then later on, that amount became 5,000 rupees. And Prabhupada ji already was in Jhansi. He had left his business in Calcutta, and he had come to Jhansi all the way, and he had no money. He lost his business also because the servant stole all the money, and Prabhupada couldn't raise enough funds to acquire the building at that time. So he approached his god brothers. Some of them showed interest, but later on, then they also didn't support him. So when Prabhupada ji returned to Jas, he he went to Calcutta to raise the funds from his business, but it didn't go through. His family also, his wife and children didn't support him in his mission. And his wife, one day, uh, she sold Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam in exchange to get some tea biscuits. So that was a great mistake. And then Prabhupada decided that no, I'm going to leave my family for good. So he left the family, and then he decided to go to his god brothers in Mathura. They had ashram mutt there. Then they stayed there for some time, helped them in preaching. Then he went to Jhansi again. When he come back to Jhansi, the wife of governor was interested in that building, Bharti Bhavan, and she acquired the building forcefully, actually through the pressure. So then Bharti Bhavan was taken over by the women organization there, and Prabhupada lost the building from his possession. And then Prabhupada had nowhere to go. So then Srila Prabhupada then decided to again, now he has left the family completely. He has got set back in Jhansi, and his business is lost. So now Prabhupada is by himself. He's homeless basically, and he didn't know what to do, how to do. So then this chapter is all about struggle of Srila Prabhupada. The chapter is titled as Crying Alone in Wilderness. Srila Prabhupada's, and he was in Delhi actually at that time. So this whole struggle of Srila Prabhupada is there in this chapter. So I hope we'll get inspired through this chapter of Srila Prabhupada. There's this quote here at the beginning of this chapter, and this quote is from a letter written by Srila Prabhupada to President of India. Vidura Prabhu, if you don't mind, would you like to read? What is that, Prabhu? Oh, uh, yeah. So here, Srila Prabhupada is writing a letter to President of India, and he's saying, and here he is showing his determination that I say that I shall go to back to Godhead after leaving this body. And Prabhupada ji was very kind and compassionate for all the living entities. So Srila Prabhupada, and the reference to this letter will come later on in the chapter, how he was propagating Krishna consciousness. So Abhaycharan, after loss in the Jhansi building, then he came to Mathura, back to the ashram where his god brothers were staying, and he had a deity of Lord Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which he took from Mathura to Jhansi, and now he's coming back to Jhansi with the deity of Lord Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And here the Keshav Maharaj is there, and at his request, Abhay agreed to stay in the Gaudiya Math and helped him in Mathura. There was he was publishing, Keshav Maharaj was publishing Gaudiya Patrika. So Abhay is always interested in publication and writing. So he he decided to help them out, and this is the first time that Abhay Charan is going to stay in an ashram or a mutt. All the time throughout his life, Abhay Charan was a family man, always stayed with the family, and he never stayed in the temple actually. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj advised him, let him stay outside and do the preaching. But here is the first time, at the request of Keshav Maharaj, he stayed in the Gaudiya Math, and he edited the Gaudiya Patrika, which is the magazine. And Srila Prabhupada, Abhay Charan at that time also gave Bhagavad Gita classes. Uh, at that time, everybody used to call him uh, Abhay Charan Prabhupada Prabhu. His name was Abhay Charan, AC, and AC Bhaktivedanta, sorry, AC Bhaktivedanta Prabhu. His name was given Bhaktivedanta by his senior god brothers. So he was called Bhaktivedanta Prabhu, was his name actually. And he gave Bhagavad Gita classes also there. And he is still like, he has not taken a sannyas, so he's in a white dress, white dhoti and kurta. And at the same time, there were another god brother of Prabhu, Abhay Charan or Prabhupada at that time, Abhay Charan. He Bhakti Saranga Goswami Maharaj, he was in Delhi, he had ashram. It was called Gaudiya Sangha, and Abhay was asked by him to assist him and come to Delhi and help him in uh, printing magazine. At that time, they were publishing magazine in Delhi, was called as Sajjana Toshani, which was in English called as Harmonist at that time. So then Keshav Maharaj, who wanted him to stay in Mathura for his own Gaudiya Patrika, and Bhakti Saranga Swami Maharaj wanted him to come to Delhi for Harmonist magazine or Sajjana Toshni magazine. So now Keshav Maharaj said, okay, you stay in Delhi, and then through the letters you can help in publishing Gaudiya Patrika. Because everybody recognized Abhay as a very accomplished writer and editor, and so he was in huge demand. He was known for his writing, right? So then there was Bhakti Saranga Maharaj requested Abhay to produce Harmonist magazine. So he accepted that position and said that okay, he will help remotely by mail in Mathura and stay in Delhi and publish Harmonist magazine Sajjan Toshni. So Abhay was very scholar. He was very good at publication and at the writing also. And at the same time, Abhay has an expansion plan for the Harmonist magazine. Uh, so he is he wants to make the magazine as a world class, top notch magazine. He wanted to make it the magazine popular not only in India but also in abroad also. And he envisioned it surpassing the magazine like Illustrated Weekly or Popular Time magazine of America. He wanted Harmonist magazine to be of that level. Um, but then the magazine which was being produced at the Delhi Mutt was not a very good quality paper, so he wanted to expand it further. And he is editing the Sajjan Toshni. At the same time, he also wants to enhance its quality and readership also. So he wanted to send the magazine all over America and all over India. So he is meeting different people. He meeting soliciting the magazine to different subscribers. At the same time, he's also writing the books. So he's writing the magazine. He's writing the books, and he has already now second time written Gita Upanishad. First one he lost actually, and now he wanted to publish it again. Um, so he approached some people who can help him, and he wanted to do the publishing as a more prominent part of his service. Now at Delhi, when he is staying there, uh, uh, Gaudiya Sangha, where he is staying, there is a fight going on among all the people. Now, when he is arriving from Mathura to Delhi, he was asked to come by the cheapest mode of transportation. So he used a third class train, and then he walked to a such certain distance, and uh, he tried to save as much money as possible. And upon arrival, Abhay sees that in the mud, brahmacharis were fighting among themselves, and they were neglectful of their own duties. And the condition of living also were very poor in the Gaudiya Sangha or Gaudiya Mutt. And there was some need for management as well. People were not preaching, they were not holding the kirtan, and brahmacharis were refused to do their own duties. So there's a lot of mismanagement at this Delhi Mutt. So one day, the Bhakti Saranga Maharaj, who invited him to Delhi Mutt, he wrote a letter and he said that, Sujata Mataji, do you want to read this? Yeah, I can hear you, yes. So thank you, Mataji, thank you so much. So Bhakti Saranga Maharaj, uh, he has invited Abhay Charan to to be part of this Delhi center, and Bhakti Saranga Maharaj was traveling for the preaching, and now Abhay was invited to write and publish the magazine, but now he has been given a management responsibility at the Gaudiya Math because everybody was fighting, and so Bhakti Saranga Swami asking Abhay, can you take a general management so that he can restore the order in the mutt and inspire devotees in the service of Lord Krishna. At the same time, publish the magazine also. So now Abhay is given an additional task of, along with the publication, now he's given the task of managing the temple affairs also. So Abhay, he want to expand the Harmonist magazine, but there are a lot of logistical challenges. Like people are fighting with each other, one thing. Second thing is there is no money. Third is not proper resources, like having a typewriter, it was not available. Printers were not there, and he needs to address internal conflicts before proceeding with his editorial duties. So there were a lot of challenges for him to publish Harmonist magazine there. And at the same time, there is not money also. Bhakti Saranga Swami again one time write to Abhay. He says, I have asked Akinchana Maharaj to hand over keys of my room to you so that you may use my room only for your office work. As you are there, you should try to maintain the peace in the ashram for giving necessary instruction to one and all. So Bhakti Saranga Swami is requesting Abhay that can you maintain the peace in the ashram, and there is a he gives him his room also to stay and work on editorial. But there was laxity, there was a quarreling, all these things were there, lack of resources. So he had no idea how he's going to publish all the magazine on time. So there is a lot of challenge while publishing the magazine. So sometimes he missed the deadlines also. Despite the challenges, he was determined to receive feedback from Bhakti Saranga Swami about his magazine. So August magazine he published in September, but then he was trying to expand his vision, increase his vision of expansion of magazine, and Abhay proposed to Bhakti Saranga Swami that can we establish a press in Delhi or maybe in Calcutta so that we can improve the quality of publishing and quality of outreach, because he wanted to expand the magazine everywhere. So Bhakti Saranga Swami replied and he said, the suggestion that the paper may be printed from Calcutta is all right. But my suggestion is that either in Calcutta, this is what Srila Prabhupada is writing uh, to Saranga Swami. He's saying that either in Calcutta or in Delhi, we must have our own press with the good equipment so that we may be able to broadcast the message of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in all the important languages, especially in Hindi and English. Hindi is meant for all India propaganda, while English is meant for the worldwide propaganda. So here Abhay is asking Bhakti Saranga Swami, can we start a printing press? And that's what Prabhupada did when he came to America. He started BBT. And that's a Bruhad Mudanga. Prabhupada's main work is literary uh, production of all the literature in English and other languages. So that was Prabhupada's mission right from the beginning. And he wanted to enhance the subscribers of Sajjan Toshni. So Bhakti Saranga Swami was producing 500 copies of magazine, but then Abhay wanted to expand it. So he says, uh, so why, for the matter of saving some papers, we shall not print the full number? In my opinion, we should print more than 1,000 copies every month and distribute them in large scale. So this was his vision. He proposed to Bhakti Saranga Swami that we should increase the copy. And he even negotiated with one of the printers to print it 1,000 copies for the same price as the price of 500 copies. So, uh, so he wanted to distribute more copies. But then Bhakti Saranga Swami was very conservative, and he said, no, don't produce more than 500 copies. So Abhay was restricted them. So there was one time while Abhay Charan is staying here at Delhi Mutt, he has left his family. And one day, Abhay's son, Brindavan, he came to Delhi to check on his father, and he lived with him in Gaudiya Sangh for a month. Abhay didn't want to return to Calcutta or to family life. So Brindavan wanted him to come back, but Abhay refused. But then Brindavan stayed with his father for some time, for a few months actually, and he helped him in his routine seva in Gaudiya Math. Uh, but then again, there was lack of resources. There was no food. Abhay didn't have proper clothing, no money, nothing was there in the Gaudiya Math. When the guests come, they didn't have money to give them a prasadam also. There was a scarcity of the food everywhere. So here Abhay Sharan writes, I wish to see this paper just to the standard of illustrated weekly with numerous pictures in order to make it very popular literature. And for this, I wish to move myself to secure subscribers as well as advertisers. I wish to visit good businessmen, infrastructure companies, and government officers in this connection, but I have no proper dress at all. I want two sets of good dress in order to take up this responsibility, and I shall be glad to have your decision in this matter. It is my heart's desire that this paper is improved to the highest elevation. So here, Abhay writes it to uh, Bhakti Saranga Swami that I do not have even clothes, proper clothing. Can you please give me a set of good dress like a dhoti and kurta so I can visit prominent personalities and and distribute this magazine. So there was a lot of financial issues for Srila Prabhupada at this time here. At the same time, Abhay wanted to publish Hindi translation of Chaitanya Charitamrita. So he was publishing Sajjan Toshni, he was writing Gaudiya Patrika, and at the same time, he was also translating his work on Hindi translation of Chaitanya Charitamrita. And he approached some people for donation to publish the book. So people used to give him like very little money. Uh, he requested one gentleman that if you give me the money, I can print it. But nobody gave him enough money. He requested Bhakti Saranga Swami for publishing the first volume of his Chaitanya Charitamrita. And he said to Bhakti Saranga Swami that if you publish this first volume, then people will wait for the second, and then others will be automatically sold, and you will get your money back. But nobody supported him actually. One time he received a letter uh, from the administration at Gaudiya Mutt where he was staying. I'll like to take a brief pause here. How are we doing, Vidura Prabhu, Sujata Mataji? Are you okay? Yeah, is this platform working for you? Perfect, perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. And at any moment of the time, if you want me to stop and we can interactively discuss any of the points, please allow me to do that also. Thank you so much. Thank you. So we'll keep on. So now Abhay Charan is staying in the Gaudiya Mutt in Delhi, and he's doing much better than before. He even wanted to publish Chaitanya Charitamrita. He wanted to improve the quality of the publication. He wanted to improve the content of the publication, and he had a bigger vision, make it international standard. But then there was some sort of a misunderstanding from the management at the Gaudiya Mutt in Delhi. So they write him a nice letter, this management, their secretary at the Gaudiya Mutt, on behalf of probably on the behalf of Bhakti Saranga Swami. And they appreciate his work as well as they are officially asking him to vacate the Gaudiya Mutt. And he says, okay, you go ahead. Because some sort of a jealousy maybe or something happened there. But let's read this letter. Vidur Prabhu, would you like to read this letter? It starts with Srimad Bhaktivedanta Prabhu. So Srila Prabhupada, Abhay Charan, was called as Bhaktivedanta Prabhu. His name was. So here is the letter. Okay, Prabhu? Uh, yeah, go ahead. So here in this letter, when Abhay Charan wrote to Bhakti Saranga Swami to expand the quality of the magazine and to increase the quality of magazine, expand the distribution. Also, he wanted to write Chaitanya Charitamrita publication. So in response to that, he's receiving a letter that, oh, your project is very lofty and you are well wisher. Uh, and we got to know also that, uh, go ahead, Prabhuji. So he is so he's appreciating you have done very good job in spite of financial difficulties, right? And further he says, go ahead, Prabhu. So now he's saying that you settle independently, which means that you get out of this place. Indirectly, he's saying. Further, he says here, go ahead, Prabhu. So he's saying that Srimad Keshav Maharaj needs your help. So please go there and stay with Keshav Maharaj. Don't stay here because Abhay Charan, he was doing much better than what they were originally doing. So there was some sort of a jealousy among or misunderstanding among the Gaudiya Math people. So they wanted him to be out from there. So further says, go ahead, Prabhu. So the secretary of Gaudiya Math write this whole big letter to Srila Prabhupada, Abhay Charan, and he was staying there very sincerely, doing so much seva. But then he was asked to leave that place. So now Abhay Charan is literally, like no, do not. He doesn't know where to go because they don't want him to stay in ashram also. So basically, Abhay Charan is now is a homeless actually, uh, and he is staying from people's place from one temporary residence to another temporary residence. Sometimes at the Vishnu temple, sometimes at a room in Kapoor College of Commerce. Sometimes he goes to somebody's house and stays. He does not have a permanent place. uh, But his goal was not to find a permanent residence. His goal was to print his transcendental literature and to establish a pure, powerful movement for spreading Krishna consciousness. At this time, Prabhupada ji this is 1955 around that time, and he's by himself, no money, no clothing, proper clothing, his torn clothes, dhoti. He doesn't have a money to buy the food. He doesn't have money to publish our literature. He doesn't have anything. He doesn't have family. He is literally broke. He doesn't know. I mean, this is the person who has been raised by a very wonderful father, very good, well to do family. He had a very good business. His income was at that time 6 to 8 thousand rupees per month. He has a very good reputation among the society members. And now here is the situation where Abhay is homeless actually, and also hopeless. He doesn't know where to go, but he has still strong desire to publish Prabhupada literature. Can you imagine, Vidura Prabhu, what will be the situation of Srila Prabhupada in this? Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. He has no money, business is broken. His all plans are like a plan to expand the movement is also not working. He's trying to get support from his god brothers. No, they are not helping him out. Uh, he is hopeless. He doesn't know where to go, right? This is a very, very depressing situation for anybody, and Srila Prabhupada is in this situation. But at the same time, he has a list. And what is the list? His list is that he has a list of books which he want to publish. Like he want to publish Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita in Hindi, 2000 pages. He want to publish the Gita Upanishad, 1200 pages. He want to publish Science of Devotion in English, 300 pages. He has Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan movement in English, 300 pages. He want to publish the Back to Godhead magazine, 300 copies. He want to print a Bengali literature, Bhagavaner Katha, 50 copies, like that. So here he has a list, and he doesn't have money. He doesn't have facility. He needs some people to support him. So he calls upon healthy, wealthy people, and he says, "Can you give me some donation?" And he had a list of donors. Some of them do respond actually, and he did receive a donation like 5 rupees, 10 rupees, occasionally a letter of appreciation also from the people that, oh, we are very happy that you're doing this and we want you to succeed and publish all the literature, whatever you want. But nobody to the substantial extent gave him the help. He wanted to expand. So here he writes uh, to the there is a Birla Mandir in the Delhi. It's a very famous Birla Mandir. So he writes them to them also, and he says, "I want to train up 40 educated youths to learn this science of transcendental knowledge, and just prepare them for going to the foreign countries and for missionary work. To start immediately an English paper and to revive my paper Back to Godhead magazine in the illustrated weekly of the India." So he wants to engage them, the management of Birla Mandir, uh, to organize the Sankirtan party, which shall not be only of good singers and musicians, but also uh, uh, the people who can help him in expanding this project. So he is requesting the management of the Birla Temple, can they help him? He also has requested them that can you please give us your place where we can organize some Krishna conscious meetings. So with the help of management of Birla Mandir, actually, we established first meeting, public meeting at the Birla Mandir. And one second. So Right, Sharan. He organized a meeting at the Birla Mandir. This meeting was the meeting of League of Devotees, and uh, he approached prominent personalities in the community to attend the meeting. Like he approached the president of Delhi Municipal Committee, Mr. Agarwal, and other prominent figures in the Delhi to attend this meeting. The event aim was to connect the cultural resources with a call for organized spiritual outreach. One time, he published an advertisement in the newspaper. And what was the advertisement? Here is the advertisement. Uh, uh, Vidura Prabhu, you want to read this? You see, Abhay Charan, he has no proper place to stay, right? His address is not fixed, but he wrote an advertisement in the newspaper that at home you can study this Bhagavad Gita. I say is that Bhagavad Gita at home by correspondence. In those times, people used to do correspondent education. Nowadays, we have online education. But Abhay Charan, he started a home study course in Bhagavad Gita, and he creates an advertisement for that. You see, like this is called as real dedication. That in spite of all the limitations, nothing can stop Abhay Charan from progressing to preaching of Krishna consciousness. And the only reason he is doing this because he is very compassionate about all the people on the planet. He wants everybody to go back to home, back to Godhead, and that is his amazing quality. So he revives the Back to Godhead magazine. Uh, Last magazine he had published was 2 years back, and he didn't publish any magazines since then, in since 1953 or so. So uh, he wants to publish the magazine, and he is asking for the donation from the people. And one donor, his name is Justice Mishra. He writes here, Sujata Mataji, if you don't mind, can you please read it? Yes. Mamta Mataji, are you there? I see some other Mataji is also there. Is that Mamta Mataji there? No. Okay, that's okay. Sujata Mataji, go ahead. I can hear you now. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much. So I'll stop sharing the screen for a while, and we have one more Mataji joining us. So I will just try to. Is that Mamta Mataji there? Dandavat Pranam. So, Mataji, welcome. Is this new platform okay for you? Are you comfortable with this platform? I can help you there. No, no problem. I can help you here. If you don't mind, if you want to start your camera, also you can start the camera. And if you click your picture, on your picture, if you click, you will see the microphone, you will see a camera, and you will see a chat box on your right hand side. There is like a chat sign there. So, so you can type your message there. I say Hare Krishna, and you will see the message there, right? So, so you see my message coming up there as Hare Krishna message popping up there. Yeah, just click the room chat, and you'll click that, and you'll see. You can type also there my message there, Hare Krishna. I typed it again. But anyhow, anytime during the presentation, you can start your camera, you can talk, and then what I will do is that I will share the screen now, and I hope you were able to see my screen throughout the presentation. Yeah. So in this, what happens is that yeah, on your picture also. Yeah. And then what I'm going to do is now is the presentation mode. So in the presentation mode, you will see on the top my camera, then in middle is the presentation view, and at the bottom you will see the if you scroll down, you will be able to see our room, ashram room. Yeah. You'll see the beautiful picture of Srila Prabhupada. If you click the picture, if, if you click the picture, then the picture will become bigger. Okay. And this has some more facilities in this. So what I will do is next time we'll try more of this room. Very engaging platform, and I just want to introduce you to this platform, and we can study it much better way. We can communicate with each other probably. And this one is little less expensive than my Zoom platform, so we want to save some money there as well, than rather than paying subscription and all those things. So okay, perfect. So we will go back to our discussion. Thank you, Mataji, for joining us today. Really appreciate it. Yes, yeah, yeah. It's a new platform, yes, but I hope you will enjoy it, and it's more interactive. So here, Justice Mishra is who is one of the donors for Srila Prabhupada. He's saying that he was very inquisitive about publishing his Back to Godhead magazine. He was very much dedicated and simple-minded and very smiling, pleasant personality. Prabhupada, here Justice Mishra is saying, Mamta Mataji, you want to read this? Mamta Mataji, are you there? Can you read it? Yeah, I can hear you, yes. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much. So here, Justice Mishra writes that Abhay Charan was not very well known actually, and his magazine also was like not doing very well. He was publishing in English, and this is like he hadn't published Back to Godhead magazine in last few years, like about 3 4 years, and he wanted to revive this Back to Godhead magazine. So he wanted some money. He wanted people to so uh, buy it. So he was fundraising and asking the donations from various people. So here is the view for from one of the donors, Justice Mishra. So in this way, Abhay Charan is trying to propagate Krishna consciousness, and is sacrificing everything. For Abhay, it was great labor of love. Purchasing paper for printing became priority even before eating. Ah. So he used to stay hungry, but he wanted to buy the paper and publish this Back to Godhead magazine. He wanted to publish the books. So here we can see that how much Prabhupada loved his books. If we love Prabhupada, we should read his books because he has done so much hard work. Do you all agree, Prabhu? Vidura Prabhu, do you agree with this? How much sacrifice Prabhupada has done to publish the literature, what we are reading here, right? So, so if we really love Prabhupada, then we should read his books because he has given his heart and soul for this publications, right? And then distribute the books as well. So for Abhay, he stayed hungry to publish his books, publish his Back to Godhead magazine. Abhay, at that time, he saw that decline in the society. Uh, so he, in the Back to Godhead magazine, he wrote articles about the degradation of the Indian culture because people were post-independence, people were abandoning the Vedic culture, and they were becoming more westernized actually. So he published those things in the Back to Garden magazine. He observes the worsening living conditions and society issues fueled by the materialistic attitude of people. And people were ignoring the spiritual life actually. So Abhay was very much concerned in Back to Godhead magazine. He was writing about this article, these things, and he wanted to make this as a main point for his audience to know that we must overcome this materialistic attitude if we really want to go back to home, back to Godhead. He often walked long distance to save the money so that he can publish his Back to Godhead magazine. There was a serious cold winter in Delhi, but he didn't have much money to buy even the proper winter clothing. Didn't have money to buy even dhoti kurta. But he was going on to publish his magazine of Back to Godhead. So his commitment was tremendous. Huh? So the printer, his name was Surendra Kumar Jain, and he says about Srila Prabhupada's his interaction with Prabhupada. So Surendra Kumar Jain says here, Vidura Prabhu, you want to read this? Haha, thank you, Rohi. So here is the printing press owner, Mr. Jain, and he says that when Abhay used to come to his press for printing Back to Godhead magazine, he didn't have any money. and when he walked long distance to come to the press and have no breakfast also, no food to eat, right? So and he give the magazine for printing, and he doesn't have money to print. But Mr. Jain is very kind, helping him for the printing because he knew that his. Uh, so here he says further, uh, when he asks Swamiji, sorry, not Swamiji, Abhay, do you have food and breakfast? And he says, no, I don't have. He says, that's all right. Abhay says, I would, I will get a breakfast. Then Surendra Jain says, I would get breakfast for you. I would call for the breakfast. And then he would sit and work. He would do the proofreading himself. The printing was done by me, and most of the time, Abhay would like to be present when that final printing was being done. He would come in the morning around 7 and stay until he had seen all the proofs. It was a regular thing that he would come without breakfast. I would arrange for breakfast and we would sit across the table from one another for hours together. You can see that Abhay Charan is working so hard for printing the magazine, and this gentleman, Mr. Jain, Surendra Kumar Jain, is helping him with the food and is helping with printing the things also. Very, very wonderful, inspiring. So further, Surendra Kumar Jain says about Abhay Charan. Sujata Mataji, you want to read? Ah, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. Sorry, I didn't know Prabhuji is there. Uh, Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, what is your name, Prabhuji? Venkata Prabhu. Thank you so much. I don't know, I can't see you, so I couldn't. Thank you, Prabhu. If you don't mind, this is the impression about Prabhupada by Abhay Charan at that time by Mr. Jain, who is the printing press owner. Please read Venkata Prabhu. Prabhu, your sound is not clear. Are you away from the microphone? Ah, this is much better, yes. Continue, Prabhuji. One second. I'll go to the next page. Okay, go ahead further. He was a real pauper. Pauper means one who is really, really broken, you know. He was a real pauper. And he was not able to arrange the paper. He didn't have money to buy and print the books. He didn't have money to have his food. He doesn't have money to have clothes. And then Mr. Jain said, "You don't have all these things. Why are you still printing this Back to Godhead magazine? You don't have food to eat, and you are dreaming of printing this magazine." But Abhay Charan said, "No, whatever happens, I will continue printing Back to Godhead magazine." So Prabhupada ji loved his printing work. Huh? I only did printing, Surendra Kumar Jain says, and he had to arrange the paper. So sometimes it was delayed. Although my job was printing, and sometimes I would say, "All right, you are so keen, I will give you some paper." But usually he would arrange for it himself. Since we did printing, we only did printing. He would bring it paper in a rickshaw. So Abhay Charan bringing lots of paper. Now he's collecting the funds here and there, begging from the people so that he can print this Back to God magazine. Uh, Very difficult situation, Prabhu. I mean, literally saying, I would not have survived in this situation. I don't know about anybody of you, but it's very, very difficult for Prabhupada. So he says when Surinder Kumar Jain and Srila Prabhupada, they work together. We were not uncomfortable together, but as a business would have it, if the bills were standing up for a long time, then I would ask him if he could do something about it. He would say, "Do not worry, you can be sure that your money is coming. So here, when Surendra Kumar Jain asked some money from Prabhupada, Abhay, he said, "Don't worry, your money is coming. Don't worry, it's on the way. Krishna is going to send the money like that." So very, very difficult. So there is no money. Surendra Kumar Jain says, "I never asked him where his funds were coming from because I felt it was his personal matter. But it was embarrassing for him when he could not pay. So I never tried to embarrass him. He was concerned that if he didn't have money, how could he print the paper? And he definitely wanted to run that paper. So, but Surendra Kumar Jain was very considerate in helping him out. He wanted to preach the teachings of Gita. He taught it as the sort of movement, and that was the only that people in the world could find the peace. His conviction was very strong. This is Mr. Jain writes about him. So how Abhay was selling all these books now? So he was personally writing, personally printing, proofreading, and Abhay personally was selling this magazine back to Godhead by visiting various people's homes and various tea stands. And people gave mixed reactions. Sometimes he met with an obligation rather than genuine interest, and people, okay, said, okay, Abhay is asking, so let's give him some magazine, take some magazine from him. Once, when Abhay was approaching a well to do house, the owner came on the second floor veranda and shouted at him, "Go away, we don't want you here." So some people did not even treat him nicely when he went there to distribute the Back to Godhead magazine. So it is a very difficult time for Abhay Charan. Abhay Charan wrote an article when he used to approach the people. Uh, can you become the reader of the Back to Godhead magazine? So people used to say, no time. So when they say no time, then Abhay Charan wrote an article. What was the article about? Article says no time, a chronic disease of the common man. This is the article he wrote in Back to Godhead magazine. So he says here, they say that they are too busy in earning money for maintaining the body and soul together. But when we ask them what do they mean by the soul, they have nothing to reply. So people, Prabhupada used to say, "You are too busy, you don't have time. So what are you doing?" Say, "I'm busy buying the money, making the money so that we can keep this body and soul together." So Prabhupada, what is soul? They don't have any answer about it. Further, Prabhupada is writing here in the Back to Godhead magazine article here. It says no time. Vidura Prabhu, you want to read this? You see, he was going and people, when you ask, can you do this? No time. Okay. Can you chant Krishna's name? No time. So, same thing, Dr. Shah was going to a meeting. He had no time for, and he died while he was traveling. Further, Vidura Prabhu, continue. See, Prabhupada is saying no time. You have no time for Krishna, and Krishna will come to you in the form of a death. And further, Prabhuji, go ahead. So Prabhupada is writing in the Back to Godhead magazine about the no time issue. Uh, Nobody says that the body should be maintained, but everybody should know from the Bhagavad Gita that the body is the outward dress and the soul is the real person who puts on the dress. So if the dress is taken care of only without any care of the real person, it is sheer foolishness and waste of time. So Prabhupada ji is writing in the Backward magazine about the real time issues, and his approach for selling the Backward magazine was also like unusual. Uh, Abhay would approach the potential readers quietly and personally, avoiding typical sales techniques. He would sit with the people, he would talk to them and ask them to read. He presented the newspaper, which is Back to Godhead magazine, as more than just news, reflecting spiritual and philosophical things. And the cost of this magazine was very little, 6 paisa only, right? And the articles which he wrote, the headlines of the articles were like the headline was to be like the lowest of the mankind, or philosophical problems with the social awareness, or suffering the humanity, like that. The headline of the newspaper was very catchy actually. So um, so everybody would know that this is not an ordinary magazine or ordinary newspaper. And as a matter of principle, uh, uh, he says here, please read Back to Godhead and revive your deeper aspects of personality. There is nothing in it which is our ideology manufactured by imperfect sense perception, but it all contains are the messages of our liberated sages. We are simply helping them to speak again mean to man and woman in easy language for real life. Every responsible man and woman must therefore read it regularly at a cost very insignificant sum of rupees 2 or 4 per year. Uh, so do not neglect it. It is for your interest. It will create happy society of humanity. So he's requesting everybody like this, writing like this in the Back to God magazine that please read. And at the same time he want to send the magazine to all over the world, so he sends the magazine to international libraries and culture institutes for the broader audience and for the westerners to realize about god consciousness. So he writes an article also how to broadcast the teachings of Bhagavad Gita in this Back to God magazine. Actually, Prabhupada at that time also wanted to establish the community called as Gita Nagari, a place where people can come, stay together, life of Bhagavad Gita. And we see there is a Gita Nagari in America now. So that is the original idea of Prabhupada. He wanted people to uh, stay in the Gita Nagari and follow the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. Back to Godhead magazine. Although the messages contained in Back to Godhead are all gifts of ancient sages of India who actually realized the absolute truth, yet at the present moment, the so called leaders of India are too much enamored by the Western way of materialistic advancement of knowledge. They are completely neglecting the treasure house of knowledge left by the sages. Here is what Srila Prabhupada writes in Back to Godhead. So he writes the people of the Western world. Uh, you gentlemen of Western countries have seen much about the material science, and yet the peace is not within your control. In most cases, you may be feeling the want of peace, although you have enough money materially. This basic defect of materialism remains undetected by the misleaders of India, and therefore they are not serious about going back to Godhead, the ultimate aim of life's journey. So here he's writing in the Back to Godhead all these things, and he's writing towards the Westerners, writing to the Indian leaders in his magazine that how God consciousness is an important part. Uh, he sent a copy to Rajendra Prasad, who was the president of India at that time, prime minister of India at that time, and he also wrote a letter to him uh, about uh, Back to Godhead magazine and promoting God consciousness, and he requested them that save the people from great fall down. And that's the first paragraph which we read. He writes in a letter to Rajendra Prasad, President of India, I have got the clue of going back to Godhead. Just after leaving my present material body, and in order to take along with me all my contemporary men and women of this world, I have started my paper Back to Godhead as one of the means way to the way. Please don't think me as something wonderful or madman when I say that I shall go back to Godhead. After leaving my present material body, it is quite possible that every one of us can go back to Godhead. So he had firm desire that everybody should go back to Godhead and not to stay here for a longer time. But hope against hope, Prabhupada. Sometimes he says, we meet the gentlemen of up to date test and try to make them interested in the matter of back to Godhead. They say very frankly that they have not only no interest in such theistic subject matter, but also they condemned the attempt to bring back people in the general path to back to Godhead. According to this gentleman, economic conditions of the Indian people deteriorated on account of being too much faith in the God, and soon they forget everything about Godhead. It is better for them. But we cannot agree with this theistic conclusion of such up to date gentlemen devoid of sense of Godhead. So, Abhay was writing in the Back to Godhead that people have lost in India at that time, people had lost faith in Krishna consciousness, God consciousness, and they were thinking that India has deteriorated just because it's too much belief in God, you know. So they discouraged Abhay. Why are you doing this? Abhay also noted that after independence, Indian people they more become materialistic, but along with that, they lost God consciousness, and there were a lot of people who were unemployed at that time also. So the situation was not good. Some of the well-posted government servants or some of the fortunate businessmen may feel themselves happy, but 90% of their brother citizens do not know how to meet both hands together, and therefore the economic condition is definitely not satisfactory. So he writes here. So Abhay Charan writes about the. This is from the back Prabhupada Lilamrita with quote, which basically saying is that people have a lot of money. There is no dearth of money on the planet, but there is a lack of Krishna consciousness everywhere. People are doing bad karmas, and they need to save. It is time to save them from degradation. You know. The karmas people are doing, uh, they do not want to spend little money for Krishna. Prabhupada writes here, a miser who hesitated to purchase a copy of Back to Godhead by dictation of illusionary nature spent up to 20,000 rupees a week for ailments and died at the end. A similar thing happened when a man who refused to spend a paisa for the service of Lord spoiled 30,000 rupees in litigation affairs between the members at home. That is the law of nature, right? So people do not want to give money for Krishna consciousness, but their money somehow or other is taken by Maya. So why not we give for Krishna? Huh? That is very important point Prabhupada is raising here. Some people they approach Prabhupada, and Prabhupada writes here that what is the use of worshipping the God? Huh? This atheist person he approaches, and Prabhupada says he's asking me, what is the need of worshipping the God? If we become more honest, we become moral, then what is the need? Uh, so, and then he says, have you seen the God? Uh, like that. This type of questions people are asking Prabhupada. So Prabhupada says, I replied that if one is God conscious, he cannot be a moralist. He cannot if he is not God conscious, he is not a moralist. He cannot be truthful. He cannot be honest. That is the point of view. You study the whole world just on these 3 points: morality, honesty, and dutiness. But if he is not God conscious, he cannot continue such things. To revive all the good qualities in society, You must have to invoke God consciousness. So some people say, "Show me the God. Where is the God?" Like that. So uh, Abhay has these challenging experiences from the people when he is trying to spread Krishna consciousness with all his difficulties, and he remembers a sentence of last Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He says that if only one soul could be turned into pure devotee, his mission would be success. Yet sometimes Abhay became overwhelmed when he thought of how small he was, how much work had to be done on behalf of Krishna, and how difficult it was to convince even one conditioned soul. So here he was looking for one person who can uh, who can join him and become Krishna conscious, but that was not happening actually. Abhay was struggling very hard for spreading the message, lack of money, lack of resources, and people were not even interested in joining Krishna consciousness or reading about Krishna consciousness. But he's still printing the literature, he's writing the literature. Very inspiring. I know we are running a little late, but I would like to take little feedback from you, Sujata Mataji, Venkata Prabhu, Vidura Prabhu, Mamta Mataji. Please share your realizations about this struggle of Srila Prabhupada. Go ahead, Vidura Prabhu.
devotee failed, anybody could be say, okay, no, I think God doesn't want this direction or something like that.
Absolutely. Very difficult time. Sujata Mataji and Venkata Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanapana.
Dhanush Prabhu.
Prabhu, like, it's very inspiring story, Prabhupada life stories, right? So, I think so many setbacks happen in Prabhupada life. Still, he is very determined to spread the Krishna consciousness, and his aim, like only one aim, one focus. He wants to bring all the souls to back to Godhead. So that's the same, like that's very like motivated for the like we need to take inspiration for our life also, like um, not to that extent, but just with the little setbacks also we do demotivated, but we always need to pray like our gurus, Prabhupada especially, to show us like some mercy, like so that we'll be continuously serve Krishna. Right? So that's what we need to like continuously pray. Like sometimes, like, Prabhu even like read some like scriptures, like but after some point, like yeah, so demotivation will come, like, right? So but continuously reading, and but Vaishnava service is very important in this case. That's what I feel. That's what Prabhupada continuously serving Krishna mission, like without interruption. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you. Yes, we all need to get encouraged and we need to do even 1% what Prabhupada did.
Yeah,
we,
I think I don't know. We achieve, at least from my side, even 1% I can achieve from
even we
Srila
can have
Prabhupada's
1% of
yeah,
enthusiasm and determination.
yeah.
Prabhupada's determination will be very uh, uh, blessed. Sujata Mata, do you want to say something?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Mata. Yes.
Yes, Prabhuji. Even though there are a lot of difficulties in Srila Prabhupada's life, he never give up, Prabhuji. That is the great inspiration that we should take. And there are a lot of take-home comments from Godhead magazine, Prabhuji. That there is no time and these things.
Yeah,
So a lot of people say that we don't have time. So what's the point that we are taking human birth?
yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. No time is a common excuse. You ask anybody, I don't have time. Chant, no time. Read Bhagavad Gita, no time.
No
Bhagavatam,
time.
no time. People have no time. Prabhupada ji, with so much difficulties, he writing the books, publishing the books for benefit of all
Yeah.
of us. Thank you, Mataji.
We have time for everything except that.
Ah, except for Krishna. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Mamta Mataji, you want to share your realization? Mamta Mataji, are you there?
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, you want to share your realization?
Yes, I have to learn a lot from you guys. I am nothing. That's one for sure that I have to learn a lot and do a lot.
Yes.
I am I'm the bottom of bottom. Don't do much.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, Srila Prabhupada is very, very encouraging. His life is so inspiring for all of us that
Yes.
never give up, Krishna consciousness. We can give up everything else but Krishna consciousness. If the choice is there between material and Krishna, Prabhupada ji always choose Krishna over anything else. Over his own body also, he didn't care for his own body. He kept on publishing the literature. So this is what we learn from Srila Prabhupada. So
Yeah,
we'll
and Prabhupada is always like punctual, Yeah, Gopal Krishna is so punctual and I am not. So I have to be punctual. I know I have to attend class 8 o'clock. My art is still running little late.
yes,
You know. So I have to be punctual. I have to learn a lot and do a lot. And I'm
absolutely. Yeah.
going to try it.
Yeah, we all have to try. That is why we are here to read Prabhupada Lilamrita, get inspired from Srila Prabhupada, and make our life joyful and spiritual at the same time. And, do as much as possible so that we can serve Krishna very nicely.
Yeah, but I have one problem, Rosie. I cannot sit and do round like my mind wander. But when I'm doing other things, my mind